Okay, going ahead with I think the 11th session of some photos, old photos taken out. What is recognized are actually the event and the real people standing in the event during that time, and not the morphed photos. So you could have morphed some photos, but what is happening is who was really there at that event, that is being discussed. Okay, that has to be established before anything else. To understand the proper perspective, of when situations are being brought out, to understand the proper perspective of who is being addressed and with what viewpoint. Okay, so anyway, what we will do is we will go ahead and timestamp this. The time is 9 in the morning, or nearly 10. 9:59 is 10. It is Wednesday in the morning, and it is the 7th of January 2026. So it is Pluto and Mercury as a combination. Pluto 1 and 2. So mind, Pluto. So 7 is Pluto. The year is 1. And 9, right? So Mars also. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's a Mars, Pluto, and Pluto primarily at play. Okay, so they have made lots of noise in the night to disturb the sleep, because that's what they do. The idiot thinks he's playing Lal Kitab Remedies, which is so stupid. You're answerable for Malvika Lekhraj's tumor in the brain and her state of being a vegetable. The cheap shit of America, New York. You are not actually a citizen of that place. You have infiltrated that place the way you infiltrated India. You're very bad Atmas. Shitty Atmas now due for a due return in time to come. So you are actually cheap, most horrendous shit, meant actually for the next 427,000 years to be played out, with you the center point of it. You people will be the last ones to leave. It's okay. Giving a little to put into place what is necessary for you to complete is not such a big deal. I'm not your date. तुम्हारा वो जो जयानंदन है, she's not JAYA.ADVANI. Jayanandan is the fake ID that belongs to शकुंतला जैसे maid servants, और वो जो नेटवर्क वो जो करते हैं, पूरा नेटवर्क तुमने बिरला के फैमिली से भी नौकरों को उठा के शामिल कर दिया है. तुम्हारे ये 400 VC जो तुमने किया है ever since 1986, full-fledged by 91 onwards. You are from that Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, those kind of khandars. You develop those places also on stolen wealth by plugging a replica into big families. So you started drilling both ways. Bottom of the pyramid recruitment, top of the pyramid murder and replication at India. So you fooled nobody. Those atmas are waiting for you to go into the afterlife. वहाँ पे तू क्या घटिया आत्मा है before you came to earth. तुमने कौन सा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को हाँ कहा क्योंकि तू डेस्परेट था. एक शरीर कुछ भी वहाँ से तुमको निकालने के लिए तुमने हाँ क्या किया, लेकिन उसके साथ तुमने क्या किया. तो वहाँ पे लिट रेल्म ऑफ जजेस पे आंसर तुमको मिलेगा भरपूर तरीके से. फ्रैंकली टेलिंग you will come to know everything in one time. Since this is far and between before you get your birth and you get a chance to free yourself, तुमको दिमाग है ना समझने के लिए. तू बहरा है, इट इज़ गुड, आई एम हैप्पी. लेकिन वहाँ पे जब तू रोएगा कि तुमको पता नहीं था, ये है, वो है, फलाना ढिकाना, straight away you will be told that no, everything was explained to you. To take it or to leave it is your problem. So now please go home. Then how much damage you have created, that way you will get your home. For however long you have to get the home. उसके बाद रोना नहीं है और वहाँ पे प्लीडिंग नहीं करना है, निकालो, ये करो, वो करो, नहीं हो रहा है. नहीं, nobody can listen to you. You need to go. You must actually look at the ratio of the earth size to the whole Brahmand universe. Then understand it is not tatkal, fatkal, none of that. It is worse than the Mahada draw when you want a subsidized home. There is, in the Brahmand, it is not free will. It is contract. Either you fulfill it, or then yet once again you went back to doing what you naturally do. So anyway, we will carry on. Let's see who's here. Okay, just hi, anyone over here? Can I ask you who's over here? Katrina, darling, are you here? Katrina, Kef. I meant my sister also. Varsha.ADVANI, sweetie, are you here? Varsha Sadangani.ADVANI, darling, you are here? Okay, is Shambhavi, who we've never met actually, who passed away before she turned a teenager, she says, is she with you? It comes to my mind to ask you, is the actress Nayanthara with you? The one, you know, who was, I don't even know if that's her first movie or what, but the original actress is with you? Is she still in the human body on earth? That girl? The real one. She's not on earth, but she's not with you. Arta is standing in for Nayanthara today. Arta is version what of Nayanthara? Can you tell me? Is she the absolute second, the first clone of Nayanthara? The original girl? Are there 10 girls shape-shifting, 10 or more than one girl shape-shifting for Nayanthara today? She was in Anjali CBI. Anjali CBI did the real Nayanthara work in? That movie of Sussex, now more recently, where she is dumb and deaf or blind, where she's going for... That girl is dead or what? Every time this keeps falling. The girl who was working in that Sussex movie, where she's going for an inheritance, she can't speak, she can't see, don't know what the problem is. She's got 2 impairments. Is that girl still in her human body? The one who was working in that movie? But she doesn't speak at all, she's dumb as the character. That was Arti. Was that Artha? Was that Arti Sadrangani Nanthur, darling? No, was that the real from the womb Arti Sadrangani Nanthur? So when the Atma was going to get born, from the Atma, was she given that you're going to go to Meena's womb along with Arun Nanthur being the father? Is it that girl, that Atma? So is it somebody who stood in for Arti Sadrangani Nanthur? Another Atma who was born in another womb with a different contract, who on earth chose the contract to stand in for Arti Sadrangani Nanthur, but born and a contract completely different from Atma before it joined the fetus. in another womb. So is it somebody of that kind? That girl is a good girl? That girl is the one who's wicked, vicious? Is that who all the time we're told, wicked, vicious people? She's the wicked, vicious one? That wicked, vicious woman is playing Nayantara today, or she was in that movie during that time. Again for grabbing assets, but over there she's showing she's the heiress of something in Sussex. Dumb and, impaired. That girl, when she was that Atma in that body, who has taken Nayantara's version, when she was the Atma, was her contract to come into the womb of the real Nayantara's mother? So she switched her contract on earth, grabbing somebody else's form on earth by free will. That has been registered in her Atmic contract. No, has it been lodged that she did the wrong thing in her Atmic contract? Has it been lodged in her Atmic journey? The second girl in the Sussex movie, has it been lodged in her Atmic contract in the spirit world that she digressed from what she agreed to do before she got her form on earth? In the womb she got it naturally. Has it already been recorded that she has switched her record? Not yet. Not yet. It has not yet been lodged. Once she leaves the body, or once the real Nayantara leaves the body, or whenever her hearing comes up, will it be lodged against the girl's Atma that she got one birth pre-contract and she grabbed somebody else's contract? So will it go? No. So will it be lodged against her? Will it go against her going forward? It will go against her going forward. She will be found out as to what her contract was, to which womb, where she was born, and how she switched it. It will be considered thievery. Will it be considered Adi Shankaracharya's Advaitism? It will be considered a contract in the soul agreed to by the soul for a womb that it is born to, and the parents also chosen. Then switching out of it by free will and thieving somebody else's contract who it was given to at soul to the set of parents from a particular lineage and an ancestry. So it will be considered stealing for whoever switched the contract from the womb given to them when they agreed from the Atma, and by free will once in the body they switched to somebody else's contract without even maybe asking them, not asking them, but primarily it will be considered identity theft and thievery. And it goes against the soul that did that kind of work and all those who supported it. Okay, I want to ask you one thing. There is a girl, some Afghan jalebi. No, it's not on my screen right now. I will bring it up. You need to tell me about it. Okay? So what happens is the pendulum moves because she's listening to the idiot who talks from the SATA drive via this fan. Keeps passing cheap comments and tries twisting the truth, bending reality. So the pendulum goes to answer them and to negate if they say something that is wrong. Okay? Which I find a little irritating because, but at the same time I say okay. Also it could be because when I said I will show you a photo of Nayanthara, but there is no photo of Nayanthara on my screen. So she could have said no, there's nothing. So we now go to the YouTube. Okay, let's see if we're able to get, it's called Afghan Jalebi. So just 1 minute. Okay, so I just want to see this. Because I want to ask about this girl actually. Since we are on the Katrina Kaif topic, now you know Katrina is showing herself here. This is the photo that was put out. So I need to ask her, if you're talking about, this is Katrina Kaif, right? According to all of us, this is Katrina Kaif. So, but she says she's Katrina Kaif. So I need to ask about this photo and ask her, but now what? So how do we understand this lady? There's Katrina here also in Kala Chashma. How do we understand these people? Who are they then? Who's this then? Kamli also, who's that then? Who's this then? Have to ask, we don't have a choice. I mean, if she has thrown stuff down. So what if it had broken? She keeps throwing things down. So obviously she wants to talk. Okay, then we have to ask. No choice. And also if it is Shambhavi, let's just understand one thing. Shambhavi, if she has passed away, was murdered before she was 13 years old, before she turned a teen. She was the younger daughter, so was she extra spoiled? Or she gets what she wants? I don't know her. That means I never knew her. So what personality type was she? This is the second time she was, third time, fourth time. Whenever she wants something, she drops things. And frankly, if things break in my home, I don't have time. I don't have the resources to keep purchasing things. This one झरोका जो है, और कितना कॉस्ट है? ये तोड़े, वो तोड़े, हर चीज तोड़े. They call PJs, not P. All right. Okay, are you willing to discuss the lady who is in the song Afghan Jalebi, whoever she is? You willing to discuss her? She's Katrina Kaif, who is half Kaif, half, what is it called, from Kashmir, and a European mother who brought her up with 5 sisters or 6 sisters and 1 brother. This is her. This is Arta. This one is Wicked Vicious in Afghan Jalebi. She plays Nayantara also, as in is she friends with R. Madhavan? Are they the same bunch of people who have done a lot of wrong against a lot of people and taken lots of things? That goes back to D'Souza's identity, Sandra D'Souza's identity, Sandra D'Souza's cousin brother's identity. How do I understand it? Is that the real R. Madhavan, born from the womb and the sperm of a womb, born, Maddie? The original boy who was born to the womb, the Atma which was agreed to go to, Madhavan, Maddie, whatever it is, by birth, did this guy go to Mahabalipuram for the Cotton World shoot, which was discussed with me in Ranka Park? So he's one of the shapeshifters for dead people, because he brought it up on his own. I never knew who R. Madhavan is. I didn't know who Maddie is. I don't go to Chennai. I don't know it at all. So as Sanjeev Rajan Lekraj, but now we understand there were 10 men who shapeshifted for one dead man. So he himself brought up Maddie's topic and R. Madhavan's topic, talking about how there was a shoot for Cotton World and how the two of them were friends, and something to do with Mahabalipuram, a place I had never heard of before. So the shapeshifter for dead SRL, now he's called SL. Just to make the difference, because he doesn't have the Rajan Naren Lekraj background. And we understand everybody who is womb born into good families who don't steal, they get a decent birth. These guys steal from them. They don't steal from them. Are you answering me? You're answering that idiot on the SATA drive? Don't answer them. They're doing this on purpose because my grandfather, Mr. Hukumat Rai JAYA.ADVANI, as early as the 50s or 40s, don't even know, 30s, refused to fall in line with something probably medical, way advanced, connected with the bio war or a biotech war, not sure. Did my grandfather ever disagree to somebody connected with, or then even Mr. Naren Lekraj, did they disagree to some concepts which they considered beastly or satanic and for which they were ousted later on? Their businesses were harmed, their ancestry and descendants were harmed for not falling in line with somebody's concept which was actually anti-God. Is that why we have been affected as far away as India, whereas the guy who has affected us or the group that has affected us live outside of India? They plan 100, 200, 300 years in advance of how they want to maneuver and manipulate society. They did so with the royalty before that. They're criminals. Was my family network or Lekraj family network by whom ever criminals? Were they ever attuned to doing criminal activity? The criminals got rid of people and cloned them in the family, one, to defame the members, stop the ancestry from moving ahead, and to grab from the family, because they were coming society influence in their own community. They were coming in between the beasts activity, for which they are conservative, connecting with things that are good for the atmic welfare going forward. But the beast coined it as they didn't want people to progress. So gave them a bad name and also created financial problems on purpose for them and influenced society to work against them. And many people fell for it because in their own families, if it's the Marwari community, Gujarati community, Punjabi Banya community, they started knocking off key influencers and replicating them to influence the rest of the society connected with their core community and then to the larger community, word of mouth. As Fitzgerald, my retail management teacher at University of Waikato, was talking about the word of mouth. Was that lady May Musk? Mary Fitzgerald or Fitzberg or whatever her name is, retail management teacher with Richard Varry. Forget Richard Varry. Richard Varry put me into a bad group of people to reduce my marks to -D, D, something of that sort, or D+. Right? Did he do it on purpose? He's written lots of PhD papers. He's got a doctorate. So he did it on purpose. Did my teacher from consumer behavior really get killed? The guy who gave me an A or an A+, was that natural death that happened to him? He's from London again, he's from UK, he has 2 daughters. Is what Carolyn Costley told me, a really good teacher. So that man was murdered actually during our semester break between 2011 to 2012. Did that come from the shapeshifter of Elon Musk's camp? Did that happen from that camp for giving me better marks? If I've done an MBA, you fuck. 15 years ago, I've worked in research, real estate research, property real estate research. I've worked in response of Times of India, which is a sales job, before I did my MBA. If I worked in J. Walter Thompson's outdoor company, it's a subsidiary. It's called Portland, India. I'm not a dumb fuck. You typified me to the housekeeper level by making that cheap movie where you try to replicate two people, somebody from that movie in Katrina's shape-shifting position, forward it to Jab Tak Hai Jaan, all your workers. Those girls were pulled off from their life, taken underground, raped and murdered over many years. You've been doing that as a business. When you fucking talk about Kharida, bloody bastard, whore byproducts, atomic bloody illiterate, worse than the Khandars of Afghanistan to the Marwar deserts. That's the soul you are. Uneducated illiterates. When you leave from the body, the contract that you actually were given and which you desperately agreed to just to get out of the shithole that you can't breathe at in the lowest realms of the Brahmand. What you agreed to, you useless Atmas, as usual and as expected. Vis-a-vis how you changed your contract the minute you came into a form, lived on earth, and then how you started switching things, hoping to grab and never go back to your Atmic state, what is earned by you. You leave from here, you will go home, you will come to know what is what. You are judged on the back of it. You got a form other than this temporary form dress that you are over here. So what contract you agreed to, which realm you were pulled out from because you were begging, pleading, all the sad is the fad. Then what you did with your contract, free will after that. To add more to your plate atmically, soul-wise. Soul contract, agreement, body, and then switching the contract by free will. Leading to what? More debts on your plate than ever was. That is going to be addressed. And you are answerable for it. As simple as that. Alright? You're bloody heeing and hawing like a bloody donkey that even my recording can't pick up. Makes you that freak that you are. Also wanting to live in your bloody body internally. Your desperation of having to hide in people's bodies with nanochip ears. It's one fucking jab. One bloody jab. The nano is so tiny. It's like a smart dust. Tiny particle. Now if that is the fucking microphone or you have wired something in the brain because you are a desperado. Even children who are 6, 10, 12 go in for debating competition, they have that much sportsmanship in them to win or lose. They don't die on the back of it. But look at you, how empowered you are. Actually, the height of empowerment is your disempowerment. You can't even have a normal conversation. You need to sneak, you need to actually dump things on people. That also, the pendulum is telling you no. In between its conversation with me, and when we ask it if it is answering a dumb fuck like you, it says yes. Right? The pendulum has shown you how many times it just redirects itself because it's answering you. Yet, my recording doesn't pick up the crap you talk. What you've done in our home, talking kharida. What your atmic debts are that you will buy anything. You bloody illiterate freak. You are an illiterate, bloody, highly empowered, disempowered, ugly, ogre, atmic, freak. That's who you are. That's who you really are. So, what this recording does not pick up, this suddenly changes direction because it doesn't agree with the crap you're throwing my way in my ear without this recording being able to pick it up. You're not smart. All it is a connector. The ears, the ENT keeps coming up, ears, nose, throat. Do I keep getting it? Do we get that you sail and sell boys, little boys, and rent them out? Did we get that earlier? You used to sell cutting kidneys, liver, all that, heart and all, and selling it. Now you started doing that digitally because you are a habitual offender from before. You are poverty ridden and debt ridden atomically before you got your contract here. When you came into a body on earth, cheap, shitty, debt ridden Atma that you are, you went back to your shitty old ways. Your desire at any cost to stay on earth is because you know once you go home what your true home is and what a hellhole it is. If anybody had their own brains to understand what I'm saying, they would understand. If you join the dots, you'll understand who the Atma is. You will understand the problems of the Atma and then how it has translated itself in front of the whole world, the way it has done what it has done. So it is nothing but selling body parts now for digital what? So if you say somebody is imagining it, almost immediately you'll call in a doctor. Oh, my body is paining, so you'll amputate it. You'll go in for some kind of a surgery, but once you get into the hands of the wrong doctor, what happens? That's exactly where they want to push you into the corner. Now, since everything is connected digitally, and Mary Fitzgerald or whatever that teacher's name was at University of Waikato, retail management, retail marketing, where I did Steve Jobs' one presentation. I don't like people playing sounds in my body. It's not okay. Okay? Not okay. Your ethics stink. If a dean of a management school has to say, oh, they need to follow the trail of the money, don't know what that is. What money? What payment was made to you? Why you give free? You don't have money? Scholarships come from where? Selling people. This cheap manner. Experimenting on them this cheap manner. तुमने खरीदा क्या है? What have you bought? That means when you talk about khareed, that means the boys that are being rented and sold for your nefarious activity. In short, you are giving the evidence of it to me, and I am the final stamp seal on you. All the best to you for your future journey. It is not going to leave you anytime soon, and you have no concept of what you have earned. All the best to you. Okay, to continue the read, tell me one thing. Shambhavi, you too left much earlier, so we will not talk to you. We have understood you were removed from the body before you turned a teenager, darling. Yesterday you said Shambhavi born to SM Krishna at Sadashiv Nagar Club, Sadashiv Nagar. Now Shambhavi, let me ask you one thing. SM Krishna in Sadashiv Nagar, were you first born in that household? By whom? Were you born by whom? Vicky is your sister. Vicky was already around. The two of you grew up at least till you were 10 years each or 12 years each at Sadashiv Nagar in your father's home. He was aspiring to be a politician. He was a politician. He had gone to Harvard, Oxford, Stanford, I don't know what. He's an educated man from Mandya district. That is your parental from your, that is you can say at least two ancestries before. From your father's side, that is all true. You were born in that household. You were removed from the body, Shambhavi, before you turned a teenager. Yesterday you were saying you were, did you check your Akashic records, darling? in this little time? Okay, so now if you have checked your Akashic record, sweetheart, I need you to tell me very straightforward. Okay, no confusion, no answering those donkeys on the SATA drive that the camera doesn't pick up. You answer me directly. Don't confuse the issue. Alright, have little control. If I in the body can control and ignore them, why you can't do it? Whole night they are talking nonsense when I am sleeping, but I still sleep. So why you can't do that? So anyway, I want to ask you very clearly, which year were you removed from your life as Shambhavi Krishnan, SM Krishna's daughter, sister of Vicky from Sadashiv Nagar? Is it that you changed location? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Your father changed the apartment or he changed the bungalow? That you changed location, is that what you're telling me? Now I want to understand, you were given the contract before you came into the fetus to be SM Krishna's relative daughter. That contract was snatched from you in which year, can you tell me? Was it when you were 12 years old? Was it before you turned 12? When was that contract stolen from you? Was it before you turned 12? Was it when you were 13 years old, sweetheart? That contract was grabbed from you when you were 13 years old. I don't want you. You want me to go with the year? First, Shambhavi. The contract was grabbed from you in which year? When I say contract grabbed from you, what I mean to say is they removed you from being the identity of Shambhavi Krishnan. They placed somebody else who was born to somebody else's womb, and it wasn't a womb related body to the identity that that person took. Whereas you are womb related. So your womb related birth connected with your face, your identity, your birth, your contract before you came into a body, that was taken from you in how old were you? Were you 12 years old at that time? Were you 13 years old at that time? Were you 13 going upon 14 during that time? You were in and around 14 years old, 13 to 14 around that time? Between 13 to 14 years old, you're not sure, but when you were around 13, 14, 15 years old? In and around when you were 13, 14, 15 years old? The girl who came tiptoeing out of my cousin's bedroom at Brewery House was you at 6 in the morning? In spite of being told not to hang around the house, like, beyond a particular time, that girl was you. That girl was your clone, your shapeshifter. That girl messed around with the Bhandaris and all of them. Did she do so with her own face? Are they aware that she did that with, hiding behind a friend's face, not being the original? But did she mess around with, Umesh had a nice social network, so did Pramila and Tramona here in Bangalore. Of course, I'm just the outsider, visiting once in a while, but of course we know who they are. So, and I don't know them beyond a point, but the thing is, I'm just looking at the style with which things have gone haywire. So I'm assuming when a mole enters into a particular space, it is to break networks. And, I've had people stand in front of me as my cousins, as my father, as my sister. But then the reality of what happened to the womb-related birth is very different from what the clones have done. And that is how, because I don't know how. Is it providence that I'm still in my body, darling? Why am I still in my body? Am I the birth-related daughter of Kanayalal Hukumat Rai, Gurmukh Das Advani, or granddaughter of Hukumat Rai, Advani, the real niece of Kailash Advani, Kailash Hingorani, Ritu Malia? Am I really their blood relative? No, I need to put my hair up because you get confused with this. I start looking like Varsha. There's somebody who's called Jaya Varsha, Varsha Jaya on the fake Ritu Malia identity and Koshi Gupta identity ever since 91-92. Before they call us Jaya Jayu. After that they start calling us Jaya Varsha, Varsha Jaya. And you know that I think is a third party component that they're trying to confuse into the real Jaya Advani, who's me, and the real Varsha Advani, who's my sister. So they started playing these filthy games sometime post 89. And they themselves must be at least one of them is a fake ID. So I'm saying if they did this much damage with us, they couldn't have left the rest of them, because comparatively we don't have that much. You know, as Kani Advani or Kanyalal Hukumatrai Gurmukdas Advani's daughters, financially we don't have that much. We got enough, but we've been stolen from a lot. But then whoever stole from us had our father's face. Father's face, mother's face. Don't know if the mother at that time stole from us. It is the father's face who stole from us. That was a fake identity of the father who did the stealing. Along with the fake identity of a father's sister being the youngest sister. Did she do the stealing as Koshi Gupta? Is she connected with his network any which ways? The fake ID of Koshi Gupta post 88-89. So they plug themselves into Kani Advani or Kanayalal Hukumatrai Gurmukdas Advani's home, Koshi Gupta's home as the mother, Kani Advani or Kanayalal Hukumatrai Gurmukdas Advani's home as the father or the brother of that sister, but they both replicas. Did they do the same thing in Kailash Advani, Kailash Hingorani, Mrs. Ritu Malia's home in and around the same time? Did they plug somebody over there? One of the people they plugged over there was brain controlled Varsha Sadrangani Advani. By 91 that started, where Varsha Sadrangani Advani, because we're talking 88-89, but by 91 was Varsha Sadrangani Advani also plugged into it? Did Varsha Sadrangani Advani know what she was signing up for? Was she aware of what they were actually up to and that they are not her real relatives? Is that when Kanayalal Hukumatrai Advani's clone, fast forward to 1997-1998, he and Anita in my reconfigured home, it has been broken down to the core. And everything from the retiling to the bathrooms to the kitchen to even civil work of relocating rooms in Forge as well has happened. So we're now 1998. And I think I have the photo. Either it is 1998 or it is 2001. Between 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Maybe 2000, 2001, I have left the workforce and gone to do interior designing at Rachna Sansad. Varsha has already gotten married, or it is before she gets married, I'm not even sure. But the thing is, those two are discussing as mother and father. As Anita Merchant and Kani Advani or Kanayalal Hukumatrai Advani, two parents in my bedroom, newly configured, are discussing Varsha and me and saying, Jaya is too headstrong, but Varsha is more moldable and malleable. They're discussing our personality types at that time. One of them was a clone. One of them was a replica. Were both of them replicas? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Jaya and Varsha discussed at that point in time? Who are you referring to? You're discussing Jaya and Varsha at that point in time. So Varsha is the one who's more malleable because she's brain controlled. Jaya is headstrong because she is not yet brain controlled. When it comes to the identity of Anita Merchant and Kani Advani in that bedroom at that time, were both of them clones? Were both of them replicas? Was Kani Advani the fake ID? Or Kanayalal Hukumatrai Advani was the fake ID discussing that topic? At that point in time, Anu Sadrangani is the womb-related mother of Jaya and JAYA.ADVANI. As parents, the two of them are talking. Can you go to that timeline? Can you access that timeline, darling? You can't access that timeline. I need to discuss that timeline for myself too. Okay, let it be. Fine. We'll discuss Katrina Kaif versus Shambhavi. So you say Afghan Jalebi is a girl who is shape-shifting for Nayantara today. She's not a good soul? That's what you're saying? Okay. We'll move on to the next photo of you. So Shambhavi, okay, fake ID Shambhavi, who's actually Katrina Kaif. Yeah, womb-related Katrina Kaif from a Kashmiri father and a European mother. Many siblings, one brother. Which movies, did you do any movies, sweetie? Did you ever be shape-shifting as Shamlu Sharma? Were you ever brought in to be Shamlu Sharma? Either at Shanti Nagar, either at God's Gift, either at Prestige Four Seasons, either at this apartment on rent here in Hennur, or then at Fern's Residency. Were you ever brought in to be the identity of Shamlu Sharma? Were you ever brought in to be the identity of Koshi Gupta? Were you ever rotated in Koshi Gupta's place? Now you were rotated in Koshi Gupta's place and you stayed in which all places? Can you let me know? Are you the one who used to run off to Shanti, no, what's it called? Prestige, Shanti Niketan. Talking about just having to get away because there's something you're not fitting in with. Are you that one who had to all the time just go away and say, no, I went for 3 days to Shanti Niketan and I stayed there for a little while? Did you do that out of your own free will? Did you do that with your own free will? Did you do that with your own free will, sweetheart? Because at that time, Ramesh Advani used to talk about Shanti, and he used to also talk about all is well. Those are your, was that shape-shifting or co-star of yours from your film industry? Connected with what? SRK's identity, one of the shapeshifters for SRK? He's one of the 9 people who rotates in people's marriages, beds. He's one of them and he steals assets. Does he ever shapeshift for Kabir Gupta, the same guy? And should I just say murdered Kabir Gupta? The same guy shapeshifts for murdered Kabir Gupta. He also shapeshifts. So Kabir Gupta, murdered Kabir Gupta, who now lives at Fern's Residency. I'm speaking like Nikhil Advani right now. So the Nixie Nikhil is shapeshifting. One of them is shapeshifting as Kabir Gupta as of now. He made a lot of noise in my ears last night. Was it him who was messing around in my ears, talking a lot of crap? You can't access it. Let it be. Apparently, he and Chitru are hiding out over there in Fern's Residency, pretending to be Shamlu and Kabir Gupta as of now. And she is supposed to be connected neurally to the beast. So Fern's Residency is at Narayanapura. So that is one identity. The guy who has shapeshifted in 2007, 6, 8, talking about 5, all is well, all is well. Also about Shanti, talking about wanting peace. That guy was with the face of Ramesh Advani. But there's something in the body language of Ramesh Advani that can also be Kabir Gupta. It's a high-pitched hyena kind of a laugh. That also becomes Nixie Nikhil, one of them. Except the tone changes at times, but there is a string that connects all 3 identities. That person is a real Hukumat Rai Gurmukh Das Advani's descendant, by whom that person has co-starred with you, and if not directly in movies with other actresses, ever lent his face behind face on the Indian cinema screen or even other screens, it doesn't matter. So he shapeshifts for other stars in the film line. He stands in for the real stars. He is responsible for Tare Zameen Pe and Sitare Zameen Pe and a sky full of stars, which means the womb-related identity, the contract given to the Atma before it came out of the womb and was in the fetus. He got, and they went on to become the stars. These people are responsible for getting rid of those womb-related stars so they can become it. In short, they are assistants to the womb-related stars who got the contract at Atma, got the fetus, came out in the body from the womb and went on to become stars and had the assistants working for them. So those original stars were done away with by these assistants, and they grabbed the assets of those who they used to work for. Tell me one thing, is this connected with KGB's Vladimir Putin's agenda in any way? Is there any connect to Vladimir Putin's agenda in any way? Because Vladimir Putin got rid of the Tsars openly and took over government, or he just replaced the Tsars. So did he give the influence to these guys, calling them up, or then creating a network of people and saying, do this in your country and you will become rich overnight, you will become a billionaire overnight, start killing the original womb-related people who have done the hard work, earned their money, created the corporations, created the brand name of the star, just murder them stealth mode and replace them. Any which ways you're doing all the work of standing in for them, but you're not getting recognition, nor are you earning maximum money. So come together and get rid of them. Did it come from Vladimir Putin? This advice was given to them by whom? Was it given by Vladimir Putin style? Was that what did it? Is there a culprit behind their decision making for grabbing assets? That person is Nikel, 5 feet 5 inches boy who has shapeshifted for NIKHILADVANI, my DNA related, womb related cousin brother. NIKHILADVANI is my womb related cousin brother. He was murdered. My womb related cousin brother called Kabir Advani Gupta. Advani is his mother, father is Gupta. It's a love marriage. Kabir Gupta and Akhil Gupta are produced by them from the womb. Is Akhil Gupta still in the body? The one who was given the contract of being Akhil Advani Gupta by the womb, is he still in the body? Kabir Advani Gupta, womb related, contract given to him before he even comes into the fetus to be Kabir Advani Gupta. Is that boy still in his body? So it is the shapeshifters who shapeshifted for both of them. They are my DNA related cousins. A contract given to us to be cousins in Atma before we came into the fetus, into the individual wombs from whom we were born. So they are my real cousins from the Hukumat Rai Gurmukh Das Advani ancestry. Did any of us produce any children in this birth? It was a contract chosen by us before we were even born, not to take the ancestry forward in the times to come. This is our last birth here for this timeline. After this, we're not returning here for a long time. It was my grandfather's decision or great-grandfather's decision. The way he decided to move from Sindh to Bombay 4 years before partition. He did the same thing for the soul journey onto earth for all of us. Okay, so I'm okay with it. We move on to Katrina Kaif. Katrina, if I can go into, now we're talking to Katrina, who went on to become Shambhavi and Koshigupta rotated. You started rotating for both Shambhavi and Koshigupta from which year? Can you tell me? Was it in 1996 that you started rotating? What did you, first and foremost, did you do the movie Boom? Were you in the movie Boom? You were the girl in the movie Boom? Did you have people standing in for you in the movie Boom? Was there anybody else standing in for you? Was there a girl called Cynthia standing in for you from the coastal region? Are you sure? Was Javed Jafri in that movie? And there is a girl crawling on the table. That girl looks like a girl called Cynthia, who worked in my home for 1 year. Was that you? That girl is very good with Mangalorean food and, coastal food. So was that you? Was that girl her? Is that girl's network responsible for what happened to you? That girl's network is responsible for what happened to you. After Boom, did you do any more movies? Katrina Kaif, who went on to become Shambhavi and Koshigupta. NM is responsible for what happened with you? Are we talking about NDM, the dead, murdered Mr. NDM, Narendra Damodar Das Modi? We are not talking about him. He's supposed to have been put into a Nidra state and then harassed and then murdered. And then we got 12, 15, 20 shapeshifters for him. We call him ODI, or then NM, or then Namo, or Nomo, that kind of stuff. Not NDM, not the guy who went for 2 years and got married to his wife and then left her in 3-4 days. Not that guy. So where the ODI is Dawood Ibrahim shape-shifting for Modi. ODI got to do with cricket. So that's Dawood Ibrahim shape-shifting for Mr. dead Narendra Damodar Das Modi in India. He's been doing that for the longest time. They were able to put a senile ego on him primarily because for his shape-shifting, he has to let himself be CRISPR'd, which means he has to hand himself over to those who do the transfer of identity. Almost immediately, they plugged his brain down the line with whatever they wanted to control him. His own people turned on him. So it is the Game of Thrones. It is the Game of Thrones. All the way into now New York and Washington. Your stock exchange, Wall Street, and what's that called? White House. And Russia in 2009. Excellent. And our Indian Parliament. We got fantastic, really good stuff happening. Should I see your movie list, darling, to see what all you have done? Tell me one thing. You worked in films for how long? Till which year? Were you working in the films as Katrina Kaif? Tell me one thing. Was there ever a time when Katrina Kaif womb-related birth, was ever shifted out to become Koshi Gupta and Shambhavi and Katrina Kaif. All three things in rotation. Did that ever happen? So Katrina Kaif was phased out of the Katrina Kaif label and then given a stay as Shambhavi and Koshi Gupta. And Katrina Kaif stopped working. The original Katrina Kaif stopped working in the film industry. Okay. Now, which year did that happen? Did that happen before 2005? Did that happen in the year 2005 itself? It had something to do with Akhil Gupta's, the fake ID of Akhil Gupta getting married to Sarah. Over there is one Koshi Gupta that I just don't recognize in the Gurdwara here at Alsur. You know, it's about 10, 15, 20 minutes away from when the marriage ceremony is going to start. The way Sindhis get married, we choose either the Krishna temple or then the Gurdwara. I chose the Krishna temple. Varsha chose the Gurdwara. And that is a fake ID Varsha. I'm the real ID JAYA.ADVANI. So I chose the Krishna temple because my Nani is a great Krishna Bhakt. I mean, you know, from the time we are babies, my Nani, whenever she gives us something, it's always, you know, either Guru Nanak's Meena Kari work, you know, gold chain and the locket, or then Krishna with Meena Kari done on it, and bangles and all of it real gold. They start collecting from the day we are born, simply because you know how it is. Point is, I chose the Krishna temple, and there they, unfortunately, I don't know what got me to go to ISKCON, and it turned out to be a sconning and it turned out to be a conning, but I guess it's, you know, providence that it had to happen that way, so I leave it. What I'm trying to understand is Koshi Gupta's behavior, fake ID, is what I understand now. When Akhil Gupta got married, she sits in front of me, the whole Gurudwara is filled. The marriage is going to start in 10, 15, 20 minutes. She turns around with big, huge blazing eyes. And she turns around suddenly and tells me, "You are my enemy." Now my aunt, if you see, she has put together dresses for all of us. Trumona Hingorani is how old? 9 years older than I am. She's been making dresses for Trumona Hingorani, Pramila Hingorani. And then when I have been born, she's so much into, you know, a really great father-sister. A really fantastic one. Many people are not like her. So when she suddenly turns around and, you know, we're used to her behavior, understanding it maybe from the time we're 3-4 years old. So 73, let's take it to 77. And she's a great aunt. When suddenly this is said in the year 2005 or 4, I think it is around 5. I'm so shocked because I don't understand what came out of her and how it happened. Why? And first and foremost, her eyes also are huge. And you know, I don't know, I just find it really weird. And I say, hey, 1 minute, we're sitting in the Gurdwara, and what happened to her? It's a very happy, joyous occasion. Her first son got married to, you know, it's a fake ID, got married to a girl who ideally one would not think she, you know, Koshi aunty would get her son married to. The second son is marrying somebody who is more like Sardar and, you know, a Guru Sikh household, and they seem like nice people. So she should be actually on top of the world. What happened to her? So I'm like really surprised about it. That was a fake ID. That was you. You were at Akhil's wedding. Katrina Kaif, you were at Akhil's wedding. It is you who turned around and told me, "You are my enemy." I'm JAYA.ADVANI, darling. Jaya Kanyalal Hukumatrai Gurmukh Das Advani. You told me I am Katrina Kaif, now CRISPRed as Koshi Gupta. I am your enemy. Why did you have feelings of enmity towards me? You had feelings of enmity towards me? let me ask you, you had feelings of enmity towards me? You were crispered as Shambhavi earlier, before that time? Had you interacted with me already as Shambhavi before this incident at the Alsur Gurdwara? I was your enemy. Why? Was I your enemy actually? Did somebody you were going out with shape shift amongst the 10 boys as SRL? You know, the 10 boys who were shape shifting in and out of I don't know how many people's homes, changing face and form, created a lot of distaste for all the girls they were with. Some of the girls they were with, they assumed I knew what I was doing. These boys, to make the girls insecure, do comparisons all the time, trying to create enmity between people who actually are completely unrelated to each other. So you were seeing one of the 10 shapeshifters in that time? That was 2002. That shapeshifter who you were seeing, was it a boy-girl relationship you were in? Katrina Kef, you are a girl? Katrina Kef with a Kashmiri mother and Kashmiri father and a European mother. You were in a relationship which was straight with a boy. You were in a relationship with a girl. That girl shapeshifted in my marriage. No, did that girl shapeshift in my marriage as the mother-in-law Huri Lekraj is my question to you. The girl you were in a relationship with. You were in a relationship with a girl. Have I ever been in a relationship with a girl? Am I gay or lesbian? Am I gay is the question. Have I ever been in a relationship with a girl? Have I had 3 boyfriends and 1 marriage and all of them are men? I have my own type. They have to be minimum 5'11" in height. Most of them are fair. The guy I got married to is sometimes fair, sometimes dark. I can't stand men who are below 5'10" in height. And I don't like dark men. I don't like the dark skin. That's because if you see the people I've grown up with, they're primarily fair and tall. I'm used to men who are fair and tall. We get attracted to our own, whatever it is. Is it Rocky my relation? Rocky is the employee's descendant when it comes to the equation, in all fairness. Rocky becomes date material of mine on earth or in the afterlife. Rocky goes to that bunch and network that steals other people's womb related contract, soul related contract, and go to very bad realms before they were born on earth, and worse once they go back into the afterlife because they digressed from their contract and grabbed other people's soul contracts. They get put down as high level thieves, that entire network. They understand the concept. They will have to understand it by the practicals and having to deal with the earnings or the debts earned by them going forward. That's the only time they will actually then, will they ever come to a realization of how and what actually happened with their decision making or their understanding or the lack of it? Will it ever dawn on them what actually happened with them and how they did it to themselves? Nobody else is responsible for their decisions. Nobody else is responsible for their, whatever their decisions are and whatever the outcomes are. My going on and on over here, talking repeatedly about trying to give them the knowledge is primarily because they have the intellect only here. Once they leave from here, they will not have the intellect. And since once we are going forward to a time which is going to be knowledge completely twisted, brain also controlled, possibly body amputated and connected to the robotics, connected to the brain, no feeding, no hunger, no water, no nothing, primarily because the brain is not sending you the signals. But when you go live into the afterlife, you're very hungry because all your senses and your organs have not been satisfied. Also contrary to how we are feeding the souls, whether it is the yagna to the gods, and everybody, demigods also get to eat, the pitris also get to eat, the ancestors also get to eat and satisfy their senses in the spirit realm. Far and few, even the lower realms, get some of it. It's called the havis or the havish. That is of the yagna, but that is only a yagna. We also have Shraddh or so many days feeding the departed souls who are not in body. They are in the entire universe and they can come down and feed themselves, satisfy their senses, at least food wise, during that time. In rotation, the ghosts are allowed to come and go in the daytime from the realms just to satisfy their pranas, the senses. You're not dead. Are you completely dead in the afterlife, Katrina? Shambhavi? Are you in deep sleep in the afterlife? Are you like you are on earth in communities doing different things but without a body, without senses? You have the vasanas but you don't have the organs to meet your requirements, and others have to do for you, who have the body and who have the ability. For that, it needs to connect to the soul. The brain needs to connect to the heart, to the soul, to be able to do this and to communicate with you. All that is going to be taken out, making it more difficult for the alive Atmas in the afterlife if they are in the lower realms. Does it affect the Atmas in the higher realms in any way? So in the lower realms, there's going to be a desperation wanting to get out of the realm, having no form except for the spirit form. But when they come to earth in their forms, there's nobody to satisfy those pranas. They're put to work brain controlled. Their vasanas are not actually met. When they leave the body, and any which ways, the lifespan goes down to 15 to 20 years. When they go into the afterlife, they're still desperate because those vasanas were not fed. So for them, it's an absolute lose-lose, desperate, far more frustrated, desperate situation than has ever been. Anyway, hopefully they understand it, because according to my understanding, going forward, there'll be nobody to actually explain it to them for what it is, and the beast is not going to give them the information. The beast is only going to take from them. Am I the beast? Even though I just burped, but am I going to, will I have to be born during the times of having to deal with the beast's outcomes? Will I be joining the network of those who have, kind of shapeshifted in my family with the idea of stealing, who have murdered my actual womb related soul family before I even came into the fetus? Will I be joining those people? Will they have to pay off their debts entirely on their own? And it's not about my family or my soul, family. It is about everybody they did that to, whether it is the Birlas, whether it is the Malyas, whether it is the Tatas, whether it is the Palonjis, just depends who they did this to. Were the Birlas also actually dealt with in this manner, where one of their staff murdered one of their people and plugged herself into their place? Did this happen to the Birla family even before 1998 or 1999? Did this happen before 1999, if not 98, before 1999, between 98 and 99? Was it the caretaker of Suman Towers that we're talking about? It is a real Birla family member who was removed and replaced between 98 and 99. This happened everywhere in many families, from the Parsi community to, and they were all mostly at the top of the pyramid. They were mostly top of the pyramid. Were there also some judges, lawyers who were dealt with in the same way? Was it primarily Bombay and Delhi that had been affected? They started infecting what? Bombay primarily? The extended arm of Bombay was Bangalore. Did it go extend to Calcutta in those days? Did it extend to Chennai in those days? So you are saying the first lot of people to be murdered and replaced were primarily key place Bombay, its extended arm at Bangalore, and another major chunk in Chennai, Madras at that time, or Chennai. Chennai is Chenai. So over there you have artificial intelligence. Chen is primarily to do with the Chinese. The English, En. Anything to do with the English? So Chen is to do with the Chinese. The Chinese invasion via artificial intelligence. Damage started in 98 itself. Damage started prior to 1998 via artificial intelligence. 85. Before 85. 86. 87. 88, 89, 90, 91. You saying damage in India, misuse of artificial intelligence started in 91 on the back of the film industry arena, gaming, artificial intelligence to brain control, interface of medical devices, nanotechnology with your gaming. Smart dust, amputation for robotic connection to robotic arms and legs. Many people were murdered. Want to ask you one thing, Katrina. Many people were murdered from the film industry, entertainment industry. Has that happened already? Since 1990, has that happened? Were their genomes, genetics stolen in any way? Were their egos stolen in any way? ET egos stolen in any way? So all the nonsense that I hear of dead people, most of the rubbish that we hear on the via the fan is what I'm assuming, which connects as a connector to the SATA drives of Bezos's company maybe. Does it connect to Bezos's company? Does it connect to any of Elon's companies? It connects to Elon's companies? Fake ID Elon's companies? That's SL? For dead SRL and dead murdered Elon Musk, the real one? Dead murdered May Musk? Dead murdered Mr. Errol Musk? Alive Tosca Underground? Tosca Musk? Alive Kimball Underground? Kimball Musk? It has got to do with what? Twitter and X, where this shit comes from? He has gone and taken the SATA drive and gone and dumped it where? Can you tell me? Is it on Earth, his SATA drive? The crappy SATA drive that this replica, crappy that he is. He's a fake ID? Is it one person who is shapeshifting for Elon Musk? Dead, murdered Elon Musk? The guy has shapeshifted for SL, as SL in the past. Now he's shapeshifting for Elon. He's got high cheekbones. Is he Varsha? Is he married to Varsha, one shapeshifter of Varsha? Is that the real Varsha JAYA.ADVANI he's married to? He is married to fake ID Varsha. That girl, when she was born, is she the Reddy he's married to? Was she born in the Reddy womb? In anybody's womb who's called a Reddy? The girl's true identity is what? She's a Keralite before she was born? As in, was she born to Keralite's womb? The fake ID Varsha. He's married to fake ID Varsha, who's a Keralite. Who's a Keralite? She is some shapeshifter of Kani or Kanayalal Hukumat Rai, Gurmukhdas Advani's fake ID father. She's his real daughter. Was there any Keralite who ever shapeshifted for dead or for, removed out of his identity? My father, Varsha JAYA.ADVANI's father. Did her father ever shapeshift for my father? No, is she the womb-related, sperm-related daughter of a man who was an assistant to, if you think about it properly, the man, did he put my father to go on to become of a low-income identity and then take over my father's assets and identity? Primarily, he's a stealer. Also, he would have done sales of people, lied about them through his teeth, promoted his own baradari or community. They're all stealers. They're all kidnappers. They're just trashy people, spit-worthy people. So would he have promoted his own community to take Varsha's identity? Or then even Jaya's identity abroad? Is he the one who stole my passport? Did that chap steal my passport? Did somebody connected with his network steal my passport? So he stole Varsha.ADVANI's identity, putting her into Ritu Malia's home, brain controlling her and rotating her, and then plugging his community for Varsha JAYA.ADVANI's identity. That girl is married to high cheekbones, cheap guy who is shapeshifting for Elon Musk today. Both of them are fake identities. The woman is playing as May Musk as of today. Does she stand in for May Musk? She doesn't stand in for May Musk. Does that girl suffer from depression of any kind? Is she a very ugly, dark Atma? from the lowest realms possible. She is. When she was born into her soul contract, fetus, to whom? Was she a dark-skinned girl at birth? Do I have any pictures of her? And it doesn't matter if they have changed the picture, but was she, does AI or does whatever this is, does it recognize the situation? Does it realize the situation? Does it realize the situation and say, oh, at this point in time, the girl over there was this fake identity? The fake identity was plugged into my home what? She was the first clone of Varsha who was removed in 1991. Is she that girl? She's the trash that came in 1993. The Jaya Varsha Jaya nonsense that was done by fake Koshi Gupta and fake Ritu Malya. She's the trashy woman. Her father had earlier shapeshifted for their domestic help category of people ancestrally. You're saying Jaya date wait. So you're saying no. My question to you, the bitch likes to convert things because she knows if she's called out to be a domestic help background, almost immediately she'll be caught. So ignore her. You've given her the answer over here. Now I want you to stop. I want you to answer me. The cheap, bloody, ugly woman who has stood in for a fake ID, who stood in for Varsha Sadrangani-Advani, 1993 sometime onwards. That woman belongs to a domestic help background along with her father ancestrally. They steal. They're in America as of now. In the land of liberty. Mr. Donald Trump's shapeshifters from the same background. Mr. Donald Trump's is the real Mr. Donald Trump at Washington DC. Is he the real identity? Is he a fake identity? That man is Bin Kiran Merchant Kira Gedua Pedua, that guy seen in Dilwale movie. Is he a good Atma? Is he as bad as what we have just earlier spoken about? Who grab things that are not theirs? Greedy as fucking shit. No common sense, don't even know who they are bloody sitting down for lunch and dinner with. You have taken your ancestry, mister, to I don't know where. You don't even know who you are hobnobbing with. Better to be isolated, to be no Advait. Don't spit on Adi Shankaracharya's concept. Don't make excuse for how you have misused things. Either you have full knowledge or don't touch it. You try doing a surgery with half knowledge, you see what you will get. The Oga Atma you are. Cook something with half the procedure and ingredients. See what you get. Cook without a gas. Without your digital electronic device to cook. Cook without a vessel. Cook with a small vessel, extra large vessel. Cook without anything. Let's see what you get. Do a surgery of the same kind. Don't talk with half knowledge, insulting Adi Shankaracharya, calling stealing equated to Advait. Don't do that. Don't you dare do that. Greed is the name of the game, you imbecile.